Wellness. This is Wellness Week number 105, Joe. Have
Cool.
you been at all the Wellness Weeks?
I have. That's
So-
why it's not been one a year.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how many we've had. So, over the past 25 years, we've had these Wellness Weeks, and they have evolved. So, give us a little highlight about the Wellness Week.
Well, the highlight is it's the holiday wellness week, my favorite of the year of all 5 wellness weeks. And it shows already. We got a great crowd coming in all day today. Everybody's in a good festive spirit, good mood. Jamie's giving things away like he always does in December.
I
He's
am?
a big Santa
Oh, yeah,
Claus.
we
Oh,
are.
yeah, all the time.
So, if you come down live, you get your free travel kit with all the different travel sizes available.
That's right.
We got free healthy food,
Yep, lots of
workshops.
good samples back here.
What's your favorite sample back there this week?
Well, right now, the only sample on the table is the Argentine silver. That's
Okay.
the big one. I
Well-
love it. You know what? Everybody needs it this time of year. We got samples of the nasal spray, great for travel, of the pump, of the copper as well. They're all back.
We didn't stop there, Joe. We have another whole sample tray
We do?
and table.
Oh, over
Calm
here.
Day, Sleep Time, Aramax, Probezyme.
There
you
it
name
is.
it, it's here. If you want to shake, is the bar open?
Bar's always open.
And one of my favorite things we do with these events is we bring in the education.
That's right.
Because that's our number one focus as we're on this mission to make our world and the world healthy. And my favorite educator, she's not here today, but even better than being here, she is live by Zoom. Where is she today?
Where are you today, Dr. Tracy?
I'm in New Wilmington, actually.
Wilmington.
Oh,
Wilmington.
okay. We thought she was coming in from Tyrone,
Well,
but
see,
not
New
today.
Wilmington's,
So
that's out of the sticks,
no
too.
matter where she
It
is,
is out in the sticks.
she is being so generous with her time to Zoom in today and share with us her new program, right? This is a great opportunity for education. It's a course that you can't miss if you're a healthcare professional or even interested in learning more about blood work, but it's called Beyond the Blood Work. This comes right on the heels of her launching her first book, Mommy's Apothecary book. So let's hear it for Dr. Tracy's new book. Man, double up the catch-up, the book launch, and then a new educational series, Beyond the Blood Work, Joe. So let's welcome Dr. Tracey Stroup.
Thank you, guys. Had a great time at the party the other night. That was super fun. It was good to see everybody. And we launched the Beyond the Blood Work that day. So a lot of great attendance, good questions. I love how engaged all the Nutritional Frontiers practitioners are. They're hungry for education. And, we have the formulas that can really help put solutions to their patients and clients. So thank you for the opportunity to share it.
Yeah, was that a party? I thought we were working. Were
Well,
we
it-
working? Yeah.
Didn't feel like work, but if I was supposed to
No.
be, I apologize.
This is an incredible opportunity because, when you hear blood work, your first thought always goes to allopathic, right? That's what they do. They send you for blood work and then they don't do anything about it, right? They don't try to get to the cause. They right away just want to treat. So now you got an expert in the cause talking about blood work.
Yeah, and the top speaker in the country, right? She's our favorite speaker because the value she gives, the ability to give the technical and science background, the clinical application with that sprinkle of humor, right? And brings it all together, right? Because you learn best when your emotional state's highest, and who makes you higher is Dr. Tracy, and her educational style is awesome.
Thank
The
you.
PhDs love it, the MDs, the chiropractors, even the staff. She was the VP of Education at Trinity School of Natural Health. She worked with Nutritional Frontiers and now is partnering back up with us on this program, and it's so exciting. So give us a little background, because I think when the docs hear blood work, they think it's cookie cutter, right? So give us a little background on the thought process, because this is a very unique training program, and some of our more sophisticated clients give us the most feedback on how valuable it was. So what were some of the thoughts on going beyond the blood work?
Yeah, so I had to figure out a new way to practice myself. It was one of the things that I wasn't getting the results that I wanted using certain modalities that I was using, in certain analytics. I think there's a ton of testing out there that's super useful, but I think it can be very burdensome to the client or patient because it can get really expensive. you can run a test for everything these days. You got a hair analysis, saliva, urine, like you think about it and there's all kinds of things. And it was just basically becoming too financially, stressful for my clients. And I thought, what is something simple, and kind of prayed on it. And honestly, like God put on my heart, like the life is in the blood. And I thought it is in the blood. So I started to look at blood work because it was something that I wasn't skilled at. I read a few books on it. I took a few courses on it, and I kind of took bits and pieces of what everybody was teaching. And there's all kinds of different ways to look at it. So it's not just like my way is the only way. There's lots of other people that teach this and teach it very well. And so I just looked at everything and I started to apply just basic principles like, what does the CBC really mean? And how do you apply it? And what about this? And what about that? And what I found was, that the span of numbers was so large that people could have, let's say, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, right, is the key indicator that a doctor will look at as, do you have thyroid problems or not? Now, we know you need more numbers beyond that, but the biggest part is to actually find out if somebody is in need of thyroid support. So they'll run this thyroid stimulating hormone test, but it's 0.5 to 5. I mean, the range is so broad. And so I started to look at that, and I would have clients that felt great at 1.6. I had clients that felt great at 2.7. I had clients that felt great at 3. And I thought, well, they're not symptomatic, but the range is so different. And so I started to come up with these smaller scales of numbers that are called functional versus normal. And when I started to tighten those requirements of like where I want people to be, people started to get healthier quicker. And so what I found through just looking at people's blood work, looking at their symptomology, is that if we can keep somebody in a normal range, that doesn't necessarily mean health. But if we can keep them in a functional range, you are more likely to heal because you're within the optimal numbers that your body requires for the right metabolic processes and the right way to detox. And I also discovered that when people were in normal ranges, they didn't feel good, but if they're in functional ranges, they started to feel better. So you go to and you get this blood work, right? And the doctor says, your blood work looks great. It's normal. And you walk out and you're like, but I still don't feel right. I don't feel good. I feel sluggish. I'm tired, whatever those key terms are that people use. And I think it started to make people feel not heard and basically crazy. And because in the allopathic community, they're only taught what they're taught. And then there's a responsibility, I think, that they should take to go beyond that, right? But in the holistic world where we come from, we were never satisfied with the normal ranges. We were never satisfied with the normal RDAs. We were never satisfied with what the science showed was normal, right? Because the science is old and the science isn't updated. So, I always tell people, don't treat the test. You talk to the person. So even with the functional blood work numbers, I had to look at it, refine it, but then I had to individualize it. Some people are going to feel really good with a TSH of 2.7. And some are going to feel great at 1.79. And we have to be okay with that somebody's functional, although more narrow than normal, is individualized to them and based on all the other numbers and patterns. And so that's really what the course is about. It's teaching you to lay new eyes on old ways of looking at blood work, pulling numbers from normal to functional, and then individualizing that functionality per person. And so once somebody would get better and they felt great, I would tell them, now go get your blood work. Now get it. Because that's your normal. And that's where you need to be to feel healthy, optimal, and within a healing range for your functional numbers. And anytime you're outside of those numbers on your CBC, your CMP, your lipid, your serum, that's when you need to start addressing pulling the numbers into functional again. So that's the problem. We only get blood work when we're sick. We should be getting blood work when we feel great, so that we know what our functional numbers are individually.
That's a great point. And you're doing this now across the board with blood work. But that reminds me of what the HRT guys used to do. Early on, the hormone replacement therapy guys would, if you went and got your testosterone tested and you were 60 years old, it gave you a different range of normal than if you were 21. But so they weren't feeling good, even though they were in that normal range. So the doctors used to start telling their patients to put 21 down as their age. Even if they were 60, then they would show, wow, you're not normal.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
this
Yeah.
is what you're finding is functional ranges. So
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. Can you give us an example like vitamin D, right?
Mhm.
So the
Yeah, it's a
typical
great example.
ranges.
Yeah, so our normal range is 30, right? That's how much they say, like, if it's 30 or above, you're in a healthy range. And I know you know people that don't feel good when their vitamin D levels are, 30.
Mhm.
So what I look for healing, I'll tell people if we're trying to overcome something and we're trying to get your body back to optimal, I want your vitamin D between 80 and 100. Then, once you feel great, we've overcome the issue, your body has everything it needed to heal by itself, then you can be between 50 and 100, but never below 50. So, functional ranges for healing with vitamin D for me is 80 to 100. Maintenance levels for vitamin D for somebody are 50 to 100. Now, we're going to look at that over time, and I'll tell them every year you should get blood work. I believe that we should get blood work every year and look at it. And you should comparatively look at your blood work from year to year. You're not just looking at numbers in current time, you're looking at trends. What was your cholesterol last year? What is it this year? And it doesn't mean cardiovascular. If you're a woman, right? Me, I'm 49, my cholesterol levels might just start elevate as I go through perimenopause, menopause, because cholesterol sits above our hormone cascade. It is normal for my cholesterol to go up as I get older for a period of time because cholesterol needs to bind with a good fat and create hormone panels. If I'm having hormone fluctuation because of perimenopause or menopause, it's totally functional that I have a higher cholesterol level. But what happens? We go to the doctor and they put everybody on a statin that has high cholesterol, or they recommend it, right? So, with vitamin D being a pro hormone, Joe, as I get older as a woman, my levels need to be functionally higher because I have more of a fat induced and need for fat soluble vitamins, cholesterol, and omegas, because that's just where I am in age. So, we have to start, like you said, Joe, not cookie cuttering this, like, oh, cholesterol is 140 and that's where we want everybody, or whatever they change it to from year to year, which that's my favorite part. You can't even figure out a number. And that doesn't fit across the board.
Yeah.
Cholesterol levels in kids, right? We don't even consider that. But I look at it when cholesterol levels start to fall drastically in kids, they're growing.
Mm.
They need more omegas. They need more good fats. They need more iron. They need more protein. If a cholesterol level is falling in a child, I know that they need more because they're going to hit a growth spurt. You have to learn to look at blood differently. It's going to give you the answer if you can just lay new eyes on it. So that's really what, with these numbers that we have, Jamie, I mean, they're good start points, but where did blood work come from if we think about it? Who was giving blood and where did they get these numbers? These were people that were going to the doctor that weren't feeling well. They were sick and they were getting blood draws. And so they went around and they took an average of like 1,000 people and they were like, all right, somewhere in the middle is going to be normal, or somewhere from here to here is going to be normal. And we based it on sick people. Well, we can't base health on sick people. And we certainly can't base them on numbers that are like huge, right? It just doesn't make sense. So vitamin D is a good one because I think during COVID, and you can probably talk about that a little bit, we saw that they were saying levels of 50 in the blood are where they wanted people to offset viral infections, especially envelope viruses like SARS-CoV-2. Well, why not apply that to something as a chronic infection and say, okay, we need even higher than that to help somebody overcome a viral infection like Epstein-Barr or herpes or cyclomegalovirus or whatever we're seeing in the blood. And you can see that in a simple CBC.
Yeah, I love how you're really focusing on the functional testing and range, right? Because really, to maximize human performance, you need those ranges. I think a lot of these, even for the RDAs and nutritional values over the history, has always been to keep you alive or to help prevent a disease,
Right.
not to maximize performance in 2024, which we're approaching. Can you believe it? So this
And
is a
Jimmy,
must.
not even to prevent a disease, right? Because how many diseases do we have with these really dumb amounts in the blood levels that we're looking at? It was just simply to prevent you from dying.
Yeah.
So as long
Yeah.
as they can keep you alive, even if it's a low quality of life or you're suffering with a disease, you're still alive. And unfortunately, we've accepted that as the criteria for our disease management system, right? Oh, I'm alive. I'm on 42 medications. I don't feel good. I have no energy. And I have 37 side effects from this medication. but I'm alive.
Right.
And what I normally tell my clients is preventing death is not health. Living a high quality life that is going to, keep you healthy and functional and you're able to live a quality life, that is health. But just preventing death is not enough. But that's where we are. So,
Well, we are here live at World of Wellness. I am Jamie Dorley. We've got the Godfather, Joe Messino, and our very special guest, our favorite speaker, Dr. Tracey Stroup. And she's launched not only her new book, Joe, that people raved about, Mommy Apothecary, and she's also launched a new program in partnership with Nutritional Frontiers and World of Wellness, Beyond the Bloodwork. So my phone is blowing up, as the kids would say, and my friends are saying, okay, how do we sign up, Joe? Because you can't have the course unless what?
Unless you can get the course. You got to be able to find it, right?
All right, so how do they find it? Philly Phil, you have any links or...
he's putting them in the chat.
box. There we go. We'll chat it up.
Oh,
So
boy, technology.
it's a very simple program. Even I can sign up for it on Eventbrite. And nice thing is that you can do this in the comfort of your home. You can participate live each Thursday with Dr. Tracey. And more importantly, you get the recording, Joe.
So it's every Thursday now, Tracey, at what time? 1 o'clock?
1 Eastern Standard. And if you can't attend live, that's okay. We'll send out the Zoom link so that you can watch it. And then I know that your team is going to be building it into a learning management system for people to have access later as well if they signed up. The biggest thing, I guess, is, who needs this class, right? Or who should take it. When I first taught it, I taught it for everybody. I didn't care if it was a practitioner. I want to give people tools of self-empowerment. I'm going to run out of me. You're going to run out of you. There's just so many sick people today. And honestly, they don't know how to take care of themselves anymore. We've lost this ability to make our own intuitive decisions. And that we're so fearful to do so that we wait and wait and wait, or we run to that emergency medicine model, which is going to just be repression therapy, right? It's kind of an archaic model that needs updated. So if we can give people tools and even practitioner tools that can help their patients and clients and help them stay in a yearly checkup, because that's the thing. Like most of the time it was allopathic, right? You went to your doctor and you go once a year, you get your blood work and they give you a medication. With the alternative, though, the alternative care practitioners out there, we don't have that model. We're like, okay, come to us until you get better and then we'll see you later and good luck to you. That shouldn't be the case. We should step in and become their yearly checkpoints. And you can script blood work. And here's a big secret most people don't know. You don't need a doctor to get blood work. You can walk into a LabCorp and pay cash for your own blood work. So you can start taking care of yourself. You don't need this hierarchy hanging above you to make good choices to eat right, sleep right, poop right, move right, think right, pray right. You don't need some person telling you to do that. What you need someone for is more of an accountability partner, a coach, looking at that, making a protocol, and working together. It's a collaboration. But at the end of the day, I want people to learn. I want them to be self-empowered. That's why I did the book, right? It's the solutions, it's the protocols, it's the why behind it. Here it is. Put it in your house, keep it in your kitchen drawer, and then the same with the blood work class. And I hope practitioners really emphasize using this in their practice, that once a year they tell their people, hey, we're getting blood work done. And it's so affordable. Blood work can be very affordable. I think a CBC with differential, if you would go get it and pay cash out of pocket, could be $10 to $25. Guys, we spend more than that on Starbucks. Like, we have to start thinking about where we're investing our money and what's a priority in 2024. Because the last 3.5 years should show you that if you don't have a base knowledge of supplementation, foundational living, and an analysis of your own health, you are going to be a slave to the system. And it's time we as practitioners, companies, brands, we start teaching people to help themselves and then rely on the professionals to tweak it and refine it for them. That's how we all have to start working together. It's not me telling you, it's me helping you to learn. Because doctor means teacher, and that's what we should be.
There's so much incredibly valuable information here she's presenting today that this is just skimming the surface on the whole program that she's offering. But a great point, right? Big Brother, who everyone thought was going to bail them out, is not going to bail you out. You got to bail yourself out. And what I love about some of the testing you offer too, and even just the experience of the course, even on the first one we saw the other day, was that most people think blood work are these few tests, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now she's saying, I love it. TSH is not bad. It's just one indicator. There's probably 10 or 11 for thyroid alone. And that alone will help the healthcare professional and, more importantly, the patient and consumer realize, there's a lot of other indicators here I should be looking at based on what Tracey's evaluating versus your typical blood work.
What she's doing is empowering people. And you're empowering people to get their blood work done and go to their doctor and say, you know what? What are you going to do about this? Because I know what this means, right? That's the empowering part. I love that.
And I want them to have a practitioner to go to that can look at it differently. And it can't always be me. I'm going to run out of me. I need other practitioners to understand.
Well, we can't run out of you, and we can't duplicate you, but we can sure help certify a lot of people and train them. And that's really the ultimate goal of this program is so that we help so many people become more like Tracey and learn from her knowledge and skill.
Right.
There's a lot of great people out there, healthcare professionals and patients, that could really learn from this and benefit from this program.
Yeah, because prior to this, what did they have? They had, if here's the range of numbers, if you see it in this range or outside this range, you prescribe this drug, period. End of story.
So we have the link in the chat box. You can check out the program. This to me is not a question. It's when are you going to start it, right? You can't put this off. This is a must. And Joe, let's talk about it, right? The financial, investment on this program. When I look at this program, this is more intense and more valuable than a lot of the IFM programs, AFMCP. These are the top level holistic, alternative, anti-aging training that's out there in the world, the functional medicine training. This is right up there with them, if not even better. What do some of those programs normally cost? I know they're thousands, right?
Oh yeah, anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000 for those programs. Yeah.
So you're looking at $2,000 to $6,000. This is a fraction at under $300, right, to sign up for?
Yeah,
So,
it's super affordable.
Yeah, incredibly valuable and affordable. And that you can do this. You don't have to travel. Just traveling to those other trainings costs you how much?
That costs you another $1,000 on top of it.
So the investment is very heavy. Plus, you may not be exposed to that type of training. Maybe you're a patient and customer at the World of Wellness, and you come to the Wellness Weeks, and maybe you just don't even know about these programs or not even qualified to go to them. So this is a program at the elite level for everybody.
Right.
And that's what I love about it most. And her training style is second to none, right?
No, she makes people understand. That's the thing. You know, like Tracey, she's good at talking to the, like she said, the MDs, but just the people coming in off the street as well. Everybody needs to understand. That's what she's good at.
The clinical application, and how I knew she was an incredible speaker the first time. We did a big VIP down in Tampa. I put one of our most critical clients right up front, our buddy Jason. And on the first break, he came up to me, and I was sweating. He goes, I love her. I was like, of course you do. Thank God, right? Everyone does, because of the way that she brings that education and knowledge from the elite level, the most highly sophisticated clients out there, to the consumers. And, the gap is closing, right? From that level to consumers, because a lot of people at our Wellness Week, they are very knowledgeable on this, and I see how excited they are and nodding their head that they need to join this program. So, Phil, I'm sure we'll put the link back up there. So, any parting shots for all your fans out there, Tracey?
Well, I do hope they embrace it, and it's really revolutionized my practice. It's one thing that most people have is blood work. So when you say to somebody, do you have any blood work? And they're like, oh yeah, I had so much blood work run, but my doctor said it was all normal. You can get that. And again, you can start giving them a protocol, and they can put that money then to the solutions. And that's the other thing we do in the class. I go through the whole thing, and then I talk about the nutritional frontier solutions that they can put in to really help somebody overcome the challenge that they're seeing on that blood work or on that less than functional level. And it's really when you get to functional that you're going to start healing. So you're not crazy. Your doctor may say, oh, everything's normal. It's perfect. let somebody that took this class put some new eyes on it, or if you want to do it, bring your blood work to the class. We want you to do that. That way you can have some real time analysis of what's going on and make an educated decision. Um, you know, no one's crazy. I hate when people get dismissed and they know something's wrong. And honestly, when I pulled those numbers in and I went back and I looked at past clients, I was literally calling them up saying, "Hey, I got to talk to you about your blood work. Hey, I got to talk to you about your blood work." I think I took like 32 clients back and I was like, "I really need to talk to you about your blood work. I have some ideas." And I'll tell you, people got healthy so fast. And the other thing, Jamie, is just base nutrition. The ultimate shake and the proline greens can change blood work in 3 months dramatically. Dramatically. Infection levels, nutrient levels, A1C, so many things. Liver health, I've seen change just from those two products. So don't think that these are huge, wide, and broad protocols. They don't have to be, but sometimes people are looking at detox, detox, detox. And that's how in the natural world testing was used. Let's do a hair analysis, see if you need a heavy metal detox. Let's do this analysis to see if you need a gut detox. Sometimes people just need nutrition. Sometimes they're just malnourished and their metabolic processes can't help them overcome, can't help them detox. So again, we're going to teach from both sides. Is it deficiency? Is it toxicity? And then you need to make an educated decision as a practitioner which way you go. And then I teach you to do it in phases within this class. So it's not just like, here's blood work and let's look at it. We're going to talk about solutions. We're going to talk about phasing those solutions. All of those things are coming in. So
Can you? I'm getting a lot of texts about this also. They love watching you live, of course. And one of the questions a lot of people had about this was talk about a little bit about trends, because I think people are so fixated on the number, right? That you commented briefly earlier about it. I always says, look, you need a baseline, because if someone comes in with a cholesterol of 240, is that good or bad? I says, what was it last year? If it was 400, it's probably pretty good. If it
right.
was 200, maybe there's a reason why it's starting to trickle up a little bit. So can you talk about some of your experience with that and how important that is?
Well, I'll talk about one pretty common thing. Like during the time of the SARS-CoV floating around, right? People got sick, and you got this thing called long haulers, right? So people would just hang on to these sicknesses, and there was all these theories behind it. So I took the blood work and I started to look at it, and the CBC with differential was really what I started with. Now that's going to tell you about your immune health, because it's a complete blood count, which means it's white blood cell and red blood cell. So I started to look at the white blood cell count. And so if you guys have your blood work and you look at it, you want that white blood cell count between 5 and 8. If it's below 5, you have a chronic infection somewhere. That's not enough to be expressive like a cough, cough, sniff, sniff, but it's enough to be an instigator. If it's above 8, that's an acute infection, which means it could be like bladder infection or something else. So I started to look at that, and then I went down to the differentials, which means it differentiates the white blood cells into what they're actually targeting: neutrophils, leukocytes, monocytes, eosinophils, and basophils. Those are the normal ones. So I just picked one, and I started to look at monocytes. And what I noticed was people with long haul COVID had monocytes because they had tons of blood work because they didn't feel good. So they would go to the doctor and they would go to the ER. So I had like these trends of blood work from them over a course of like 6 or 8 months because they're trying to figure out what's wrong. And just on the monocytes, they would go up and down and up and down. And every time they went to the doctor and were symptomatic, they were high. And when they felt better, they were down. Well, monocytes for me is underlying Epstein-Barr virus, mono, right? And so I would ask them, what were your symptoms? And they were like, oh, just so much fatigue. And, I had swelling in my abdomen. And, I just had just all these things. Sounds like mono. And so the protocol that I did for them was and I looked at their red blood cells because we learned on the CBC, looking for the deficiencies, right? I filled deficiencies, looking at the whole blood panel. And then I went back and I targeted that one virus. And amazingly, their body, with enough nutrition and enough support to overcome by itself, because I can't cure, treat, or diagnose, I'm not that good. But they got better. And they no longer had long haulers, because I don't think long haulers is a thing. I think it's a compilation of reactivation of underlying viruses and bacteria that your body could keep latent and keep under control. But then when you got sick and depleted, a methylation group came off or was stolen from, and these other things became activated, and they show up in your blood work if you know how to look at it, if you know what the functional ranges are and what's acceptable. And when we get outside of acceptable is when we get sick. So that was one trend that was so prominent that I actually started talking about it to, Dr. Judy and Dr. Sherry and all these other practitioners. And guess what? It became part of like long haul COVID protocols to look at activated viruses, activated bacteria. How much strep have you seen? How much RSV have you seen? How much Epstein-Barr have you seen? How much, I mean, think about it, chickenpox, shingles. Where are these things all coming from? All of a sudden they're popping up. We're missing the small indicators in the blood work before it gets to the state of disease. If you can catch them early, you can keep that expression under control. You can support the immune system that it can take it out. You can educate it so that your body can heal itself. So that was one trend that I saw, which was super powerful with long haulers.
Yeah, I love this. The art of the natural healer. That's what she teaches people. It's an art form, right? She's going to help you identify some of the underlying causes. I remember one of the things she taught me years ago was the eosinophils. When I see those elevated, what am I thinking? Parasites. Is that correct, Doc?
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
Over a certain number, which we're not going to tell here unless you take the
Nope,
class.
not yet. You got to sign up. So how do they sign up, Philly Phil? Is there a link?
Yeah.
It's in the chat box. All right, we got the link out there. So great thing about the program, it really helps you become that natural healer you always wanted to be. It gives you an incredible tool. And as you had mentioned, who gets blood work, Joe?
Well, everybody should.
Yeah.
And who can take the course?
Everybody.
Everybody. So there
Yeah,
it is.
no, I do base it towards practitioners, but
Mhm.
it is in terminology that anybody can understand. And if some things are above your head, that's okay. Take the little knowledge nuggets out of it and put it and apply it to your health. Any little bit helps, and it's nice to have an educated conversation with a practitioner, even if it's your medical doctor, you might teach them something. But if it's your functional medicine person or a natural person, then you can have the conversation. I don't get offended when people question. I think sometimes we tend to be like, why are you questioning me? I don't. I usually tell people, like, I appreciate your questions. I want to know, where your fear factor is. Like, what are you hesitant about that's going to keep you from complying to what I'm saying? So let's have a conversation about it. And that's the other thing. Like, we have to talk to and with our clients, not just at them. They're people, they've been fighting this for a really long time. They need to feel heard. And it's okay that they ask us questions because I think most are just seeking knowledge. They just want to know.
Yeah, another benefit of joining a course like this is the community, right? Now with social media, Dr. Tracey puts out great education all the time. You can find her on any social media outlet, right? LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, are those the main ones? Any other ones? TikTok and
Yeah, I'm on TikTok,
Snapchat.
but I'm not on there a lot. I mean, I started on there. It was a lot. TikTok's a lot.
So the main ones are what? Instagram and Facebook?
Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, primarily Facebook. I'm part of the old school. I like Facebook. I like to be able to write stuff and explain it. And for those that want it, they'll read it. And for those that don't, that's okay too.
And you like to give out your website if you want to pick up the Umami Apothecary book, wowpgh.com. And what's your direct website?
It's just Tracey Stroup, ND, as naturopathicdoctor.com. So it's my name, nd.com. You can we do telehealth visits. I have a team of telehealth practitioners. So if you can't get me, there's lots of other qualified people. There's specialists. Also a community that I've established if you want to be part of that. And soon to be launching an academy in January for the healthcare professional, which I have asked, and hopefully Nutritional Frontiers will be one of our premier product partners to teach the premier, right? To teach protocols to the doctors, because there's a couple things that I think are missing.
Yeah, maybe she didn't get the answer. What's the answer, Joe?
I didn't get the
Of course, the answer is yes.
So one of the things I think there's not enough testing analysis taught in natural health curriculum. I think it's a big part of it.
Mhm.
And there's not enough solutions. We learn herbs, we learn herbology. That's wonderful. But then you get to the real world and you have these huge comprehensive formulas. You don't understand the ingredients, you don't understand the application of it, the protocols, products, and ingredients. So that is really what I'm looking for with Nutritional Frontiers, and what hopefully you guys will come in and do is establish this protocols, products, and ingredients methodology for practitioners to walk out and be ready to help somebody out of the gate. Those are the things I think we need to do.
We
And so
will
that's
do that.
why we've partnered together here with this, right? But these would be brand new practitioners, hopefully, and maybe some people that want to become specialists. But yes, absolutely. We're going to be doing lots of fun things together in 2024.
Well, the program starts last Thursday,
That's
Joe.
right.
We've already partnered up with her. Check out Beyond the Bloodwork, a 4-part series taught by Dr. Tracey Stroup. What an incredible course on the art of being a natural healthcare professional, Joe. Your
Absolutely.
thoughts?
Well, you know, and again, it started last week, but you can always catch up. That's the beauty of the technology. You can start now, go back, watch the first series, and continue to learn. And like I said, this is bringing natural health practitioners to another level, because the blood work always seemed to be the realm of the allopath, right? That was their realm.
We're
And then
taking it back.
We're taking it back.
Well,
And there's the girl to
thing
do
too,
it.
a lot of the courses that we've gone to, the IFM and AFMCP, or even Trinity and the online programs, you don't get the recording right from the
yeah.
event.
Yeah.
And there's so much coming at you, and you're note taking, and it's like a frenzy all week, that it's really hard to digest all that information. This is more clinical application and things you can use to implement right away.
Yes.
You don't
Right
need to
away.
wait months or years or anything else. You got the recordings right there, and this will help you with our purpose, which is get better results for your patients and better results for your practice. And this is another way to do it. So thanks, Dr. Tracey. We appreciate it, especially on the weekend, joining us, and all the incredible insight you had this week. And the feedback, Joe, right away, there was a buzz going around Thursday about her program.
Oh, there was, and it continued all the way through till today. And look at the crowd we got here for you. You can't see the crowd,
I
but
can't see the
you got a
crowd.
full house.
Oh, good, good. So, guys, sign up, because it'll be life changing, and at least you can stand your ground if you choose to stay in the allopathic model, which I don't think that's the audience probably sitting in the world of wellness.
No.
But even your practitioners there at WOW, I mean, what an extension of the practice to be able to have somebody bring in blood work, to be able to go to WOW, get blood work scripted, you know, and then have somebody review it and give you the nutrient solutions that you need, you know, for everything that they're doing there. So it's a really powerful protocol, and I think, you know, it's just going to benefit everybody.
Thanks so much. We look forward to next week's event on Thursday. At what time, Joe?
1 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock, 1 p.m.
So check out the link in the chat
be
box. Check out Dr. Tracey on social media. And you can always go to nutritionalfrontiers.com or wowpgh.com for more information. So thank you, Dr. Tracey.
Thank you.
God bless, and have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Same. Merry Christmas, everybody.